I have a 28-year-old daughter, and she's completely living on my expenses. Yeah, it might be my fault. I have enabled her for quite a long time, but then she hit me with an absolute bombshell. And guys, when I tell you what she told me about her boyfriend, you won't believe it. When Jenna was born, I thought it was the happiest day of my life, and it was. I finally had a daughter, even though she was never planned. Still, I put on my trousers and started working to give us a stable life. My wife, God rest her soul, was still very young. We were just 8 years apart, and she endured the pains of childbirth for the rest of her life, which was just 15 years after Jenna was born. My wife passed away from an operation that went wrong a couple years ago. Well, although we managed to sue the hospital for malpractice, nothing could help us cope with the enormous loss that we had. Of course, Jenna was a teenager, but a mother figure is necessary at any time of your life. It's one of those things that you never lose, and well, this is a bitter story, because it's the kind of situation that requires a mother to cope. After all, it's all about relationships, an area that, as many will know, I'm not the world's most expert foremost in. Jenna starting to date a boy. Harry. The guy is, well, he's not the most attractive, if you ask me, but I've heard that he has a crush on more than one girl. And I guess his forte is charisma. I don't know because I've never spoken more than 2 sentences with him. Anyways, they start seeing each other formally a month ago, but Jenna's been talking about him for almost a year. It's one of those crushes which are usually almost impossible to achieve. Like, I don't know, platonic love. In my day. As it turns out, the two of them started dating, and they've developed a good chemistry with each other. Jenna never formally introduced us, and the boy showed up on our doorstep one day asking if I was her father, only to be greeted by Jen with a shove, telling me not to worry, she'd be home early. She's 17 now, but just starting in the dating world, to which she's adapting very easily. Her mother only dated one guy before me, and that was when she was 18, so I don't know if she would have been a good advisor too. I'm surprised that she started dating at this age, even though many of her friends have already gone through a couple boyfriends before. And, well, I'm rather grateful that my daughter is just wise enough to know when and not to move on. She's always telling me, I'm waiting for the right one. And coming from someone her age at this time, that's very, very strange, you know. I was just dropping off to show off my Papa Bear insecurities. My daughter's growing up, and I feel like my wife would be very happy to see her move on. I've been able to afford the house and Jenna since then, and I plan to put her through a good college with the lawsuit money. In that sense, I feel like my wife also ended up doing her bit in one way or the other. It's very sad to say, but that's the way it is. I just hope that this boy, Harry, will be a good suitor for my Jenna. I still get to see her as a little girl in the playground and think that she's going to be steady with someone else. Well, excuse me if I sound like a worried father. I'm only 43 and I already feel old, so I feel it's normal for me to be very aware of my little girl. Right now, she's going out with that guy, and if he is the man of her dreams, I hope the relationship lasts a long time. Of course, I hope she doesn't get bold enough to ask me for money to go out, because she'll know that in that case I'll give her an absolute no. Or well, maybe that will change. I don't know. I'm very passive with her, and sometimes I've been an overprotective dad. So I might give her some ice cream money on occasion, but that's as far as it goes. If he wants to make my daughter fall in love, he better start saving up his cash. I'll update you guys soon. Update number 1? Well, it's been a couple years since my first and only upload, so I have so much to tell you guys. I even forgot about this, but in order to not make the reading so heavy, I'll tell you the reason why I'm even writing. Jenna and Harry broke up. They were boyfriend and girlfriend for a very long time, and shortly after my last note, they formalized and decided to take their relationship to the next point and uploaded photos together and introduced themselves to each other's family and such. Something that, as I understand, is big nowadays. She's going through her grieving process in which she wants nothing to do with him, but I feel she has achieved a slightly more delicate point, which is that she wants nothing to do with men. Even when I talk to her, she's always seeming to be defensive, though I only plan to help her. She looks to her friends for support, while they continue to trash talk at Harry, who, by the way, I'm very surprised at the outcome of their relationship. Rereading what I wrote earlier in my original post, it seemed rather naive of me how I was dealing with the situation. It did. I've had the chance to get to know Harry over the years, and he's proved to be a very nice and funny guy. Not to the point of considering him a son or anything, but to the point where it would have been bearable between the two of them. I'll update again anyways as soon as Jenna gets over the broken heart, because we all know that's not really easy. Update number 2. Well, the bad news is over, and Jenna is shining like never before. She was finally able to get out of the negative state that she was in, and for the better, because I was getting a bit tired of her attitude of not wanting to talk and just going from party to party to party. Her friends would take her to any celebration she was available for, only to return at around midnight. It wasn't until yesterday that I could actually talk to her properly, and she confessed to me everything that was going on. It turns out that Harry was the one who broke it off with her, saying that he could not stay in the relationship because he was moving to another state. And just keeping a long-distance relationship wasn't the nicest thing in the world. Maybe I didn't go through it, but you don't have to be an expert to figure that out. At least I'm glad it wasn't because of some misunderstanding or, heck, even a mistreatment. Even Jenna cried in front of me, saying that she didn't deserve to have treated Harry badly, who also took some of the pain of the breakup. Or me, as she was aware that at one point she came to me in a bad light for making her remember Harry in the sense that, quote, I treated her well. Only time heals wounds, and that's what I told her. And for the moment, she's dried her tears and she has agreed with me. Update number 3. Hey guys, Jenna is quite a warrior. Maybe even more than me, in a sense. She's already dating another guy, and she had several suitors even, but she's decided to give one a new chance. It's been 4 months now, so I think it's time for her to start opening up new horizons, and I partly envy her a bit. I was dating a girl years ago, a lady I felt I could start something with, but I knew inside me that they weren't going to move forward. There was nothing there, and it feel like it's hereditary, as Jenna had a chat with me yesterday. This is what made me come back to update. She asked me if it was okay for her to go out with another guy, even though she had still had these feelings for Harry. So I told her, okay, yeah, that's normal, as long as she didn't feel uncomfortable. She has to learn to see her comfort and put it as a priority above anything else, and I feel that she is, as she's very determined about this new adventure. All I can do is support her and look out for her safety, and to be honest though, I feel like I've been spoiling her as of lately, as I've indulged a lot of her whims. Small ones, of course, but still, I only did it out of spite, but she should not get used to it, because that will be up to the new suitor. I wish the best of luck to him and them, although I know he won't need it. Edit. Guys, quick edit to update 3. Jenna already has a new boyfriend, and I've only had one thing to say, wow. She's looking really happy with this guy, and his name's Jeremiah, and I like him a lot. He's very outgoing, and he's made Jenna feel very comfortable in her other situation. If I were him, I'd be a little afraid that I wouldn't be able to fill her shoes, because she still seems a little broken by what she's been through. But if life has taught me anything, it's that men like women like that, because of our instinct to help and protect them. I don't know why, but I know that's how it is, and I just wish them the best of luck. And if not, well, I'll always have the door open for her. I don't know if I'll ever write here again. It's getting a bit tedious just to be always telling you about my daughter's love life, so I might take a break. Who knows, at the end of the day, I might pick this up again. Maybe with some companionship for myself. LOL. Update number 4. Good day, everyone. It's been a while, and I don't know how many years it's passed, and I'm surprised that I even have the account active on the platform. A lot's happened since the last update. Highs and lows in my life, and the highest would be my quality of life, because with the jobs I've had 2 active ones and a casual one that doesn't take much of my time. We've been able to live quite well. Jenna went to a university and graduated a couple years ago, but with her, well, let's say those are the lows. I remember I used to tell you about my daughter's love life, right? Which is weird in retrospect, but now it's different, because it's a more serious, delicate situation. I had to reread my first entries just a bit to remember, as I did not remember many details about Harry. Harry was the boy Jenna dated years ago, and the one she recently started hanging out with again. Her love life, while it's been pretty simple, is at least a starting point for what we're going through, because I feel it involves me as well. If this had not happened, I really wouldn't have come back to the platform. Harry came back to the States some time ago, but in a rather abrupt and radical way, because he had come back now with a child he had with another girl, and the girl herself. They were living together for a while, as I understand it, and in all that time, he and Jenna had no contact whatsoever. Jenna wasn't even aware of it, according to her, and when she found out, she felt a bit bad that Harry had not contacted her again. On the one hand, though, I get it. There's no right way of compelling reason to contact your ex and tell her you had a kid with another girl. And then what? Get back together? Let the power of love override all else? I don't think so. She still hangs out with Jeremiah, and only what once seemed like a solid and secure relationship has now become a monotonous and even a little toxic, of course. Looking at it from an outsider's perspective, they're always fighting, always arguing, or looking for trouble in the most mundane situations in the world. The other day, a conflict arose because Jeremiah told Jenna that he was going to go out downtown to buy some things. She asked him to buy her something that he forgot, and they started saying all sorts of things to each other just because of that, and even though it was something relatively silly. They're always one conversation away from breaking up, and that's already pushed me over the edge. If you're wondering what this situation has to do with Harry, well, that's why I came back to write this. Jenna is getting back in touch with him in a pretty direct way, talking about how they've been doing since they've broken up years ago. I know she considered him the love of her life, but she's been with Jeremiah longer, and I feel like the whole getting back together with your ex thing can be a double-edged sword. Well, I'm not saying that they'll get back together, but it's a situation that's looking more and more like it every single day. I'm sure she tells him about things with Jeremiah, and while I don't know about the specific conversation they have, I'm sure he'll mention everything he's done over the years, plus the guys running around with another girl and kid in between, and I feel like I raised Jenna better for her to be that kind of scenario. In case this scenario happens, the best thing to do is to talk to her to prevent her from making mistakes, and I don't want her or them, as I still remember Harry a bit enough to still sympathize with him. Well, now to make a mistake by reliving things from the past. It's hard to be a sensitive parent in this situation, and this is when I would most need Jenna's mother, who might know better than I do what to say in the situation. Maybe she would forbid her to be with him, or what do I know? I just know that she would be more forceful with our daughter and make her understand everything better than I could. I promise that this time there will be an update less than a year from now, so please wait patiently. Update number 5. Hey guys, it's me again. Well, based on everything I've written so far, it's very strange that I came up with something negative about Jenna. But one has to see things as they are. The relationship between them has become too close, and just as I predicted, she eventually broke up with Jeremiah. After I don't know how many years together. It was some stupid fight, I'm sure, but Jenna has not even had time to mourn the situation, because she's very attentive to Harry and insists that he should end up with the girl as soon as possible, so they can be together. Well, while Jeremiah's deal was bitter, Harry is like tasting vanilla extract. He still hasn't broken up with the other girl, and Jenna's putting pressure on him to hurry up. Harry's partner isn't the best person in the world from what I'm told, and she's a gold digger who's just trying to take advantage of Harry to do her own thing. I think she didn't even want to have the baby, but because Harry was so excited about it, she decided to let it go. This led to several years of misery in the relationship, and that's why Jenna is so confident that by being with Harry, everything will just be better. I try to talk to her about it, but all she does is comment to me, and that's it. If I give her my opinion, or at least give her advice, she gets defensive, and we end up odds at each other. I don't want to believe that Jeremiah was a good catch, and she left him alone to go back to Harry. I wanted to believe he cheated or something. Then there's the issue of Harry's son. Is Jenna capable of raising a boy? I mean, I've had problems with her in another area, which is household income. She's already graduated, but it's not like she's made much progress. She's been at a company where she has done her internship, but that's all it's mounted to. They offered her a position, but she said it would be difficult for her to have a social life with such a tight schedule. Well, I've got news for you, miss. Since you were born, I haven't been able to go out with my friends to the fullest, and you don't see me complaining about it. She wants to impose a huge burden on herself, like raising a child when she can't even stop depending on me to exist. She criticizes Harry's partner, but she's pretty much the same, and as I said, I don't feel quite right talking about my daughter like this, but I can't help but find patterns in everything. If that's the case, and Harry being Harry, I would not date Jenna, as she doesn't prove to me that she's any better than what we have at the moment. Anyways, I'm gradually detaching myself from all this, and at some point things will get better, I'm sure. Update number 6. Yesterday, I met Harry's son. I saw the guy after many years, and we talked as if, not a day has passed. They gave me no details of the deal, and Jenna has invited them for lunch, and at one point I heard them say that they were going back to the house, explaining later that they were going to Harry's house to sleep. Then Jenna decided to fill me in. Harry finally decided to dump the other girl to be with Jenna, who would now become his formal partner. If it sounds weird, it's because it is weird. The kid, Jerry, on the other hand, is a sweetheart. He's very nice and shy, although I would be too being surrounded by all the adults in someone else's house. The only thing that bothered me about the evening was that Jenna later asked me for some money for dinner that night, and I asked her why they were going out to eat if she didn't have any money. When I insisted, I told her that, there would come a time when I would stop helping her because of all the things she would be doing, and she should be doing. But she didn't take it, and they walked away, leaving me alone with my thoughts. I no longer care what they do with each other, but at least I wish that they had some wisdom in their way. Update number 7. Jenna and I sat down and had a pretty serious conversation because things were getting out of control, and even though she's my daughter, I cannot allow this to go on. She's getting out of hand with the help I'm giving her, and I told her that if she wanted to take on something as big as a new family, she has to get a job. I say that because she wanted to bring Harry and her son Jerry to our house, to come and live here. I told her that I wasn't particularly thrilled with the idea, and I asked her why she should not get a job so that, they would have enough to live in a simple apartment for the time being. I only had to tell her that, and she starts to throw 1,000 things in my faces that were lies. She told me that I've never supported her, and that I didn't know how she felt about starting a family. People, I'm not a violent person, but the comment caused me to bring out years of silent protest against Jenna. For the first time in my life, I did not see her as my daughter, but as a spoiled little girl. The kind on those entertainment channels, which I hate to death, by the way. She wanted to spoil the child, buy him toys, all the food he wanted, but she always asked me for money, so I was surprised by her comments. I told her that for years I dedicated myself to educating her, pleasing her, and giving her all the education that would serve her for the rest of her days. And if she wanted to give the same to someone else, she should not rely on me to do it. This was a hard thing to say, since that day is what had her turn to take care of Harry's son, little Jerry. He was playing in one of her rooms while Jenna and I were arguing. She would tell me that she's given Harry the security of a roof over his head when he asked her to leave the other girl, but I criticized this and told her that she should not make false promises. She insisted that I should help her, as she could not manage to get out of her own without my help. But I kept replying that she should look for work and that I did not understand where this objection to her not wanting to go forward came from. She told me that it's because she was afraid of the world, and that she only knew life within the four walls of my house, and I had to apologize to her. When she did not understand, I explained to her that I had to apologize for spoiling her too much, and making her inexperienced in the most basic things. Then I spoke to her better, telling her that I could help her, but that she had to do her part. You know what her reply was? "I don't think that'll be necessary, as Harry will have a good job to support us both." It was then that I saw myself in the same situation years before, and I didn't want poor Harry to have to go through a lot of those things. I bit my tongue, and I decided to get serious. I told her no, I'm sorry, but I had to let her go. I congratulated her on the noble attitude and feeling that this child could be raised by her as if she were a mother, but I opened up the doors and let her go. She felt bad, very bad, and went so far as to beg me to help her, as she did not know what else to do. She even told me that if I came to Harry with that news, he was going to leave her for being useless, and I told her, then you would be the same person he left for being with you. I think I hit the nail right on the head, because Jenna started crying. It was true, everything I said, and now she looked like a scolded child being told the truth. She called Jerry and told him that they were leaving, and she did not say goodbye to me. But I finally got to have my little revenge. Then I'll be thinking about crying a little, but in the meantime, I guess I have to worry about other things. I'm still not quite sure, but I think Jenna blocked me from her contact list, as I can't seem to see her updates. If she wants to hate me, you know what? That's fine. I don't care, but at least she won't be able to deny that I was a good father, who gave everything for her until she didn't know to appreciate it. Guys, please let me know what you would do in my situation. Okay, so today's story was a little different than what we're used to talking to on the channel. Anyways, I was reading the comments for this one, and there was a lot of things that were shooting up red flags for me. I want to bring them across, you guys. The comment section, they were not arguing at all about the fact that OP's daughter needs to grow up, get a job, raise the family that she has, and do stuff for her own. Everybody in the comment section, though, was very upset about the fact that OP was sharing all these intimate details about his daughter without her permission. We're talking her love life, everybody that she was basically in love with, her children, her activities, her way of life. And she didn't even give the permission for it, so I do want to know how you guys think about that. OP's father sharing all these details for the internet to see. Let's talk about it in the comment section down below. My name's Mr. Reddito. I narrate stories like this every day, and if you guys like these sort of stories, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. If you just can't get enough, check out my other channels down below. I hope you guys have a great day, and of course remember, it's cool to be kind. Peace.